In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of confusion. The worker will initially ignore you, but if you wait for 1 full minute, she will rise and motion for you to follow her. After following her down a series of dimly lit hallways, you will come to a dead-end corridor with no doorways. The worker will motion to the end of the hallway and promptly leave you without a word. You must walk to the end of the hallway without speaking a word. Once you reach the end, place your hands upon the wall to reveal that it is an illusion which you may walk through. If you are scared or unsure of what is behind the wall when you step through, or have any doubts at all, you will simply walk off of the plane of existence forever, never to be heard from again. But if you believe in yourself, and believe answers lie beyond the wall, when you step through, you will appear in a bright white room with many paths. Some lead into the distance, others appear to lead nowhere at all, yet others appear to defy understanding and lead to suffering that only the most damnable of all souls can comprehend. The path you seek is the one that lies ahead of you. It appears to continue on for eternity. While walking, you must say nothing, no matter how long the trip appears to take, and should the room begin to darken halfway through your trip down the path, your only option is to sit down and weep silently, for you are now nothing more than nourishment for the most grotesque and cursed demon of them all. However, if the room remains an almost unfathomably perfect white, your trip down the path will be without peril, and you will safely come to a door. At this point, you need do nothing, as the door opens to you to reveal a room which appears an impossibility. It is not big, but not small, not lit, but not dark. It appears to be everything, and nothing. Equals and opposites are meaningless in this room. It is said that most who enter are driven to a maddening insanity and begin to claw their own flesh off, or disembowel themselves with their bare hands, all while laughing manically. Never dying, this will be their fate for eternity. Should you manage to not be driven to insanity, you will notice a nondescript figure standing in the center of the madness. It appears to be human, yet at the same time, something much more hellish. You will not be able to comprehend this entity visually, but you must not repulse at its sight, nor can you say anything to it. It will begin to speak to you many events, some of which you know are true, others you know are lies, some which you are unsure of. The entity will become increasingly agitated that you are ignoring its nonsense. You must refrain from saying anything at all until the entity falls silent briefly, and then asks,
"What would you do if they were all brought together?"
To this, you must very firmly reply, "Everything that you would do, including what you wouldn't." The entity will stare at you blankly for a moment. If it doesn't believe you, it will simply walk away and leave you there, forever in darkness. If it does believe you, however, it will reach its hand out and give you a small, seemingly immaterial glowing object. This is the beast's resolve. That is object 37 of 538. No matter how indecisive you are, no matter how unsure the world becomes, you alone must know what to do if they all come together. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the receptionist's desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of accuracy. Should a look of terror and sorrow fall over the receptionist's face, they have found you, and no amount of running will save you. However, if his face shows an expression of excitement and disbelief, you've come to the right place. He will take you to the nearest door and open it for you. You must walk through the doorway exactly 3 seconds after they open it. No more, no less. After walking through, the receptionist will close and lock the door behind you. You will find that you are now standing in a firing range with spots taken on either side of you as far as you can see. The people who take these spots are seekers that have failed. They are doomed to an eternity of thoughtless enslavement, unable to summon enough free will to end their own lives with the weapons so tantalizingly close at hand. Take the one open spot that is directly in front of you. You will notice that there is a rifle conveniently placed on a nearby table. As soon as you pick it up, a target will appear at the end of the firing range. You will have 5 rounds, and you must hit the center of the target with each of them. If you miss the first shot, the seeker to your left will put their gun to your head and pull the trigger. If you hit the first time but then miss another shot, You will join the seekers that have failed in their mindless stupor. If you manage to hit the bullseye all 5 times, however, the firing range will disappear, and you will find yourself in an empty black void standing before a man dressed in a black trench coat and a dark brown fedora, but you will not be able to see his face. This is the holder. If he is smoking a cigar, then he does not find you worthy of continuing your journey, and will shove you into the void to fall for eternity. If he is smoking a cigarette, then he believes you are capable of progress. He will beckon for you to speak. You must ask him, how many people tried to stop them? He will then tell you in great detail how many people tried to stop the objects from being lost, how many rounds were fired, how many battles were fought, how many wars were started, amongst other things. Don't worry, few have gone insane from this information. The man will then hand you the rifle you used in the firing range. Any round that you load into this rifle will never spread and will always shoot where you aim. The man will give you a respectful nod and walk into the void. You will feel a strong gust of air, and then you will find yourself standing in front of the place you call home. That rifle is Object 38 of 538. How many shots will it take to stop them? In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of absence. Should the person at the front desk try to convince you that the person you wish to visit is no longer there, ask to visit their cell nonetheless. At this point, the receptionist shall show a look that can only be defined as emotionless. The receptionist will lead you down a long wall with many doors on either side until you reach an iron door with one barred window on it. They will open the door for you but lead you no further. Beyond the door is darkness, nothing more. As you step into the darkness, the door will slam shut behind you. You are now trapped, and the only way to go is forward. You will not be able to see the ground, the roof, or the walls. Be aware you may be walking for a very long time, possibly days. As you walk, you will begin to feel cold and empty inside. You will feel as if your soul has left your body as a shell. In time, you may hear footsteps that echo loudly. Stop immediately and wait. If the footsteps do not stop, you must sit down and wait until they do. If they begin to grow even louder, then you will surely perish by an unimaginable horror. If the footsteps do stop, you must press forward until you reach another iron door, illuminated by a light behind it. Open it and step inside. Finally, you come across a forgotten room filled with silence. The presence of the holder is almost palpable, as if the very essence of absence manifests before you. The air becomes heavier, laden with the sadness of countless departures and farewells. The holder will be shrouded in shadows, his figure indistinct and ethereal. His eyes, filled with nostalgia and melancholy, reflect the echo of the void that consumes him in this moment. Every passing second is permeated by a profound sense of lament, a lamentation for the irreparable loss that pervades his existence. You must look into the eyes of the holder and ask, why have they abandoned us? With a look of sadness, you will notice his smile, strangely welcoming, as if he understands all your pain. Then, you will feel a wave of deep sorrow coursing through your being. It is as if all the absences and separations you have ever faced merge into a single moment of insurmountable anguish. The holder will not answer anything, for deep down, you already know the answer to this question. At that moment, you will feel your heart tighten, flooded by a tearing sense of emptiness. Crying uncontrollably in this moment is almost inevitable. This time, and only this time, you don't need to resist. Cry as much as you can until you feel the hand of the holder on your shoulder, and then he will hand you a blank photograph. The one who holds it is able to vividly visualize the image of the absent people in their mind, as if the photograph is filled with the living memories of those they love. This connection to the memories can bring solace, but be cautious when doing so, for you may become trapped in this illusion for eternity, and once trapped, they will depart again. The next time you blink, you will find yourself in front of the desk in the mental institution or halfway house. The blank photograph is Object 39 of 538. Keep him absent. Keep them from coming all together. In any city, in any country, go to any orphanage you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of the abandoned. The attendant will look up at you with lonely eyes and lamely motion for you to follow her. She will lead you through a maze of corridors. Do not look back and keep on her heels, or you will be forever lost in this maze. She will show you a door, crumbling with age. She will then suddenly vanish, abandoning you to your fate. Push forward or be lost forever. After you open the door, you'll be confronted with a hedge maze of slowly dying bushes. Follow your gut as you navigate or risk losing yourself to an eternity of wandering. Listen carefully. Every step you make will ring loudly through the still air. Should the sound stop, stand still and don't dare to move. If you hear a buzzing sound, shout out, "Go back, I do not need your help." If the buzzing persists, then run. Run for your life. Your body, your mind, your very soul will be in great danger. Do not stop, no matter what you may hear or see. Should they catch you, you will be gnawed eternally by the sharp fangs of every problem that has ever plagued mankind. If you escape, then you may consider yourself blessed with luck few have had before. Eventually you'll make it to the end. Before you will stand at a golden gate, knock once, and it will swing open for you. Slowly enter the courtyard. Inside, you will find a beautiful man in his late 40s wandering around aimlessly. Ask him this, and nothing else. Where were they abandoned? If this man attacks you, then count yourself lucky. You will never see the end of this. If not, then he will show you. He will show you every hidden crevice, every basement lair, every corpse, every madman, every evil place that these things have tainted. You will probably go insane. If not, then you are truly destined to see this task to the end. The man will have left you by the end of this illusion. In his place, you will find a map and a broken watch. The watch shows how much time you have left in this race. You may not keep it, and you will not remember the time that it shows. That map is Object 40 of 538. Use it or not, but the knowledge has escaped, and you're not the only one that holds it.